Blue Justin here. Still Justin, still not blue. And instead of coming straight back to the steelbooks, I thought that I better start getting on with my weekly hauls, because otherwise I'm going to get so many months, years, whatever, behind before I finish doing the steelbooks that I'll never get back to them at all. So my steelbook hauls per se will keep on coming out, but the cut-off point is before this video, which happens to have some steelbooks in which would have been added to that pile, etc. So you're getting the idea of why I'm doing it. Okay, I better get on with it, because the week that I'm doing was a bit of a bonkers week, I'm afraid, so it might take some time. Right, start off with something that's also totally bonkers, and though you may not believe it, I actually honestly did get this one pretty much mostly because I was attracted to the steelbook itself, not because of the content, but I'll tell you about the content in a minute anyway. And that is an American import that's only available over there. It's the American steelbook of Kill Her Goats. Yeah, I don't know what it particularly means either. I think that's a very scary, weirdy image. I can feel through the cellophane it has got embossing on that cover, which is very, very nice. It's quite unusual. It hasn't got the doesn't appear to have the title on the front, unless it's got it hidden under the that bit at the top. But there it is on the spine, so I'll prove I'm actually telling you what it is called. It is essentially, it's a bit of a slasher movie. This is the unrated version, and not only is it a steelbook, it's got some lobby cards in it and a holographic sticker, and also it's in 4K as put at the top. However, I did notice that there doesn't appear to be any HDR on it, just the increase in resolution. Essentially, it's all about a girl whose graduation gift is her dream house, which is nice, right up to the point where she has a number of unwelcome, uninvited guests. I think they're dressed in goat masks, that's the title. I don't think it's supernatural in any way. However, you have got no real subtlety. It's got one of its big selling points is it's got no CGI. It's all practical special effects, and well, that's what it's describing as one of its selling points. And the other one, for people who do or don't know it, is that a lot of the actresses who appear in this are penthouse pets, and one of the main actresses is the Playboy Playmate of the Year for one of the years before it. So yes, no subtlety there, and I believe there are lots of long shower scenes. Anyway, on to something that's just a little bit more usual for me. I'm not normally a slasher movie type person. Like I said, I honestly just was attracted to the steelbook first, and there you go. Yeah, and next up is more my usual style, and in fact it is very much my more usual style in the principle that it's an upgrade from the Blu-ray. I don't think it's just straight upgrade from the DVD, though it might be, and that is Doom. Yeah, based on the computer, very popular computer RP first person shooter, science fiction type thing, even from when I was first into computers. And yeah, and Carl Urban and The Rock. Really, that's all you need to know. It's a first person shooter based film with The Rock in it, based on a computer game. And I'm sure most people who know of it will know that. Sticking with the little bit of SF science fiction type thing, this is season 2 of what I'm told is an excellent series. I obviously have season 1, but I haven't watched it yet. I was hoping to watch them all in one go. And this is called Travellers. It's quite a clever idea about people that you don't send people back in time physically, you send them back and they inhabit the bodies of people in the past. I suppose that's a bit like transfers. Only transfers, I think you can only do it with someone you're related to. In this case, they can pick and choose. The whole point is they can't get the bodies harmed, and the idea is they are trying to subtly change the present day so the disasters that happen in the future don't, because where they come from is a nightmare of a world, and it's on the point of extinction or something similar, I believe. And it's very highly regarded series. And what's really annoying, especially because it's so highly regarded, is that 3 seasons were transmitted and only 2 were put onto physical media. You can get, they're both on Blu-ray, but there wasn't even a DVD of the 3rd season ever released anywhere. So I'm going to be stuck after this one, unless I can sort of track it down on some channel somewhere. You never know. So yeah, Travellers, it's supposed to be very good. I'm just annoyed that I won't be able to watch it all the way through in full. Another semi-science fiction-y type one. This one's Arena. Samuel L. Jackson. The sort of near future type thing. He's made a fortune having a web channel where there's to the death gladiatorial combat, and of course the lead actor that's not Samuel L. Jackson is being accused of a crime they didn't commit, or kidnapped and thrown into the arena, and has to fight their way through to be released. Plots we've heard of plenty of times before, and he plans on taking down the entire system in doing so. So yeah, that's going to be quite straightforward, I think. 18 rated for strong bloody violence, so gore, and one use of very strong language. Don't really worry about that. Right, okie dokie. On to another one. Yes, this time we've got going to Cyborg. I've waited a little while for this one because I bought it in HMV's 2 for £15 sale, something like that, very recently. It was 2 for 15, I can't remember. Yeah, 2 for 15 instead of about £15 retail price. Though probably would have only cost 10 or 11 regularly, but still for £7.50, definite. However, it was out of stock, so I've had to wait an extra little while for it. So it only came through last week. Jean-Claude Van Damme is super powerful warrior, has to save the beautiful half human, half cyborg. Don't say it. I know, how can it be a half human, half cyborg when a cyborg is half human, half machine? What does that mean? So it's like she's a 3/4 human, 1/4 robot. It's still cyborg. It's just wrong. It's their description, not mine. Anyway, it's yet another situation of the world's been wiped out practically by horrendous plague, and the beautiful half cyborg is the only one who's able to develop a vaccine. So Jean-Claude Van Damme is there to rescue her from the fact that she's been captured by cannibalistic flesh pirates who plan to keep the antidote for themselves and rule the world. Really, what do you know? And yeah, he has to go in there and save civilization as we know it. On to another piece of Jean-Claude Van Damme action. This one set in the modern day, well, a few years ago now probably, and that's Maximum Risk. This has got Jean-Claude Van Damme and Natasha Henstridge, she of Species fame. Well, Species fame to me, I think she's very good in that. Even though it's like a B movie with a great cast, Species, but it's one of my favourite little guilty pleasures. Maximum Risk is him who is a French cop who finds his exact double murdered on a case that he's investigating, and turns out that the double is his long lost, he didn't know about, twin, who's working for the Russian mafia, whose girlfriend is played by Natasha Henstridge. And he then, of course, goes undercover to take revenge with her help on the people who killed his brother, even though he didn't know him. Not particularly necessary purchase for me. I really only got it because it was the only steelbook available. But I'll. It's always nice to have the steelbook, but I've got a copy of this on Blu-ray with the same art and better extras and limited edition to 3,000 or something in the UK. The only extras on this one are a trailer and the 4x3 version for if you want to play it on old-fashioned CRT TV, which I don't think I'm going to. So yeah, okay. Still, bit of Van Damme never did anybody any harm. And moving on to a bit more action stuff. And Back to the Future, or into the future again with another steelbook though, and that's Will Smith in the excellent, in my opinion, I, Robot, based on the novel by Isaac Asimov. I don't know how closely, because I've never read the novel, but I think it certainly includes the ideas, if not the details. This is the limited edition, I think it's Abbey 3D steelbook. This is, you can tell from that, slightly debossed around the edges, and I believe the reason for that is because that way you've got a lot of them do that, so you can stick one of those magnetic lenticulars over it if there's one available, or they can make one available later. Now I happen to know they use this exact same steelbook with a magnetic lenticular in Germany, which is probably why they just kept the same steelbook with the sort of like surround embossing, debossed center, depending which way you want to look at it. I wanted to actually get that one, but it was quite expensive, so, or even more expensive, shall we say. So I got this one instead. Still, it's an upgrade from my regular iRobot, and it's got the 3D version, which I didn't have before. Now I'm not sure, and I don't think I made a note actually. One of my recent purchases, and I can't remember if it's this one, the 2D disc is cut down and has hardly any extras on it. But the original separate 2D disc has a lot, and if that's the case, I'll obviously replace the 2D disc in the Steelbook with the 2D disc that has all the extras on it, so I can have them all in one place, because this one's only got a special feature of continuing your journey, Prometheus and the Darkest Hour clips. So, you know, if that's just advertising Prometheus, that's hardly a biggie. If no one knows, this is all about robots that are part of everyday life, and the only person who doesn't trust them is Will Smith's character. They live by the 3 laws of robotics, which Isaac Asimov invented. Thou shalt not kill a human, thou shalt not allow thyself to be harmed unless it contradicts the first law, and I can't remember the third one, but they're all sort of like, and everybody sort of like has used them ever since as almost a precursor to any sort of like robot thing. And essentially society will fall apart if people start to find out that some robots don't actually have these laws applying anymore, and he suspects it is the case, and sets out to investigate a case which could only be answered by that being. So, right, on to a bit more Eastern Promise, shall we say. Yep, that's Far East, but this is, well, not one with samurai and swords, but even I'm limited on a certain percentage of t-shirts, and this is I think it's quite a recent release, because I saw it on Pete Blu-ray Bullet's channel, if I recall correctly, and this is the special 88 films release of collector's edition for On the Run with Yun Biao. If Pete rates him as a martial artist, I know that Pete knows what he's talking about. This one comes with a nice thick book, 80 pages. It's got a double-sided fold-out poster featuring the new artwork and the original Hong Kong poster. So 6 collectible art cards, and the book has an interview with the director printed out in it, and this rigid slipcase is new, and it's got the new artwork. It's a new 2K transfer, original elements, all that sort of thing. I think this is one without English audio. It says it's got Cantonese audio with newly remastered English subtitles. The commentary is 2 commentaries are going to be with in English, obviously they're going to sell it in English, but I think you're going to have to use subtitles if that's going to put you off, but I wouldn't let it on something like this, to be honest. Interviews, alternate ending, and the case inside, the HD case inside. If you're not going to keep this on the shelf to save space, that has revert, even if you are. It still has reversible artwork, so you can have this artwork on the box, and if you prefer the original artwork, you can have that on the outside of the normal case. So yeah, that's On the Run. All out. Saying a long way away in that direction. Got a bit of anime. Anyone knows me will know I like a bit of anime now and then. I tend to go for the more 15 or 18 violence stuff. This one's only a 12 with moderate sexualized images, but it's all about mysterious invaders attacking the Earth, and at Battlegirl High School, they're the only people who can stand in their way, as well as obviously keeping up with their homework and classwork. Very silly, only in anime really, but I love it. It's just daft. This one wasn't too expensive, and again, it was a cheap one, because I tended to find that if they're not dubbed into English, then they're usually half to 2/3 the price of any ones that are dubbed into English. And for what it's worth, and as people often point out to you, anime is horrendously expensive. I will quickly go into my personal theory is that the people who do anime releases say that a regular Blu-ray film is about 2 hours long and say costs 20 quid. Therefore, if you're releasing 4 hours of anime, then it should cost 40 quid. Whereas in the West, we tend to not do it purely by minutes. It tends to be whether or not it's a TV series, which would be less, all that sort of thing, how many extras it's got, whether it's been remastered, all that sort of thing. And I think basically seems to be the principle they use. To me, it's just a rough estimate. This one is significantly cheaper because, like I said, it started off about half that price, because it hasn't got any English audio, but it's perfectly watchable with the subtitles. It's by MVM, and it's got all 12 episodes of the series, so you can watch it straight through quite quickly. They're only 30 minutes long, 30 minutes initial length, and that's including the overlaps and things like that, and the adverts. So that's going to be less than that. It's about three. So it reckons here approximately 300 minutes long, and I got it for, I think it's about 15 quid instead of 300, like I said. So my calculation works out quite well on that one. And here we go on to also stuff that sits out that direction, but another one that Pete Bullet Britt Ainsley put me onto, and I'm now sort of like doing a little sort of like collection of following his leads, and that is a jolly big set called In the Line of Duty 1 to 4. Now, obviously that includes, the set includes the 4 In the Line of Duty movies. It's got as you can see, it's also got a book there at the top. Let's just have a quick look at what it says about it. 88. It's an 88 films released. I hadn't said. It was a 100-page book with interviews. It's got some archive stills, reversible sleeves featuring the original artwork. Though I personally like this new artwork, so I probably won't do anything with it. And some 2 double-sided fold-out posters. Now, essentially, this is, I believe this is quite a lot about quite an early version of sort of like women martial artists kicking ass, and this set includes the famous and brilliant Michelle Yeoh. I think she's in most of the films, and Cynthia Rothrock, who is in the second one, which is it's in the Line of Duty 2, obviously, but it's also called Yes, Madam. And so really looking forward to going through all of those. So yeah, golden age of Hong Kong action, women kick ass as hard as men, Michelle Yeoh, Cynthia Rothrock. I think there should be, I'm trying to get more Cynthia Rothrock at the moment. That's my mini task at the moment. There isn't enough out there. What I would really like to see is Rage and Honor, but that's only out on American DVD, and that's been out of print for quite some time. I actually happened to get it back in the day, but I'd love to see it redone in quality like this, and good old 88 films. These have got English dub and English subs. They're all about the hour and a half mark, and the various effects. There's different mixes on the Cantonese. The original in theatre mix, the home video mix, which is quite interesting idea, and new 5.1 English dubs, export versions, and with the classic English dub, audio commentaries all over the place, interviews, more commentary. All this, it's a fully packed set. It really is, and what is most annoying really is that despite the fact it's 88 films, and they usually put things out both sides of the Atlantic, this one I wanted to order direct from 88 films to support them, but because I'm in the UK, if you ordered this, they'd instantly refund you and say, no, you're not in the US, you can't have it. This is only going out to the US people, which is silly in my opinion, and annoying also in my opinion. So yeah, I had to buy it from Amazon.com, and it's quite expensive, but then again, it's not surprised with that sort of thickness. Oh, look, here we go. Cynthia Rothrock in Undefeatable, and this one, she's in a martial arts gang, trying to leave the gang life behind, thereby participating in backstreets mafia-run fights to get money for her and her sister, and she's putting her sister through college, that sort of thing, until a rival martial artist has his girlfriend die and starts to totally lose the plot, taking it out by killing and raping and killing, and that, and removing the eyes of anyone who used to look like his ex-late girlfriend, which of course includes Cynthia Rothrock's sister. So here we go. It's all going to be a bit of a bing bang bash at the end, you can tell. 4K in this case, newly restored from 35mm original. It's going to look stunning. brand new commentary track with Cynthia Rothrock. Additional Blu-ray discs containing everything on the UHD plus more special features, and a second one which has a different cut of the movie. Normally I wouldn't separate out the separate cut, but apparently the separate cut is a film called Bloody Mary Killer. It's called the Bloody Mary Killer cut, and it's only got the Cantonese mono soundtrack and English subs, plus Mandarin dub. But it is apparently so wildly different, the cut. They totally resorted out the movie to tell a totally different story. So it's not really even the same movie anymore. So interesting to compare those when I get around to it. And guess where we're going? We're going to the 4K of martial law. Guess who's in it? Yeah, that's Cynthia on the front, Cynthia Rothrock. This is a German release, as you can see by the big mark down there. And it's time to... This one's limited to 1,000. It's quite expensive because it's a 4K, relatively recent German release, and it's limited to 1,000. I want to get Martial Law 2, where they continue the story of Los Angeles is totally gone wild. It's totally under controls of gangs and lawless elements, etc., etc. And the only chance of getting anything done is to practically break the rules with this special martial law unit, which a bit of a law unto themselves is the idea, I think, which Cynthia is a member. So yep, they're off, and they'll be fighting aplenty. There's I can't see what the extras are, but that's probably because they're written out here in German, apart from the description. But no, really looking forward to watching all of these. Great. Now it's on to something a little bit less Western, and this is the I know, different t-shirt, but Wonder Woman, except that's the TV live action, and this is the DC animated. It's the original movie. It's got reasonable special features. It's got a couple of in-depth documentaries, so it says they're in-depth, I'm assuming so, called A Subversive Dream and Daughter of Myth. There's a one on historical Amazon law and its evolution into the modern day Wonder Woman character. There's a commentary. There's a first look at it was then upcoming Green Lantern animated movie, and this is presented with Dolby True HD audio in English, obviously. And yeah, this one's about the a betrayal is leading to the escape of Ares, god of war, from the Amazon island, and it's up to Wonder Woman, Diana Prince, to recapture him with the aid of the cocky World War II fighter pilot that she always teams up with, Steve Trevor. And before Ares starts starting a battle for mankind, etc., like that. You get the idea. God of War, they're always going to cause trouble, aren't they? This one's I just liked the sound of, and I do like Sean Bean, though knowing Sean Bean, he'll probably end up dead by the end of it. And this one's Bad Blood, actually originally titled Wicked Blood, I believe. Sometimes I don't know why they changed the titles. This is all about a young girl who is brought up in the south of America in a underworld violence and guns, drugs and vicious biker gangs, neglected by her angry sister, and she and only refuge is her uncle, who's a drug addict, so she's not really having a good time everywhere you go. In fear of her uncle Frank, who's one of her family leaders in this illegal family business. That's Sean Bean. She does the usual, does the Romeo and Juliet, and falls in love with a member of a rival gang. So, and unlike Romeo and Juliet, they decide instead of running away together, because they know that's not going to work, they'll always be found and tracked down and probably killed. She has this cunning plan on how to set the two warring factions against each other so that they can get their own revenge and probably assumingly live their own lives. It's got strong violence, strong language, nudity and hard drug use, as if the description of the plot doesn't give that away. Right, yes, so bit of action there. Not only Sean Bean, but there's James Purefoy. I can never remember how to pronounce it. I keep on wanting to pronounce it Purefoy. Purefoy is it's spelled. And yes, that should be an easy watch. I don't think it's very long. Does it say? Yeah, 98 minutes. A shortish one. This is mostly surprised because I never find anything in charity shops I'm interested in, let alone Blu-rays, and let alone Blu-rays that are actually still sealed and with a slip. But I think it was sealed when I got it. I think I've unsealed it now because I think it was a rattler or something. That's right. But yes, so this one doesn't really follow on from the tales of vengeance and revenge, but it's another one that has a cast that really appealed, and it's called The Love Punch. Obviously a little bit of a romantic comedy. It's got Pierce Brosnan, Emma Thompson, Timothy Spall and Celia Imrie in it. That's a good cast, whatever you hear it. Pierce Brosnan and Emma Thompson are divorced husband and wife, and they apparently it's always implied that the embers of their relationship had never been fully extinguished, but reading. And then a French financier steals their nest egg, and he uses it to buy a $10 million diamond for his bride-to-be, and the duo agree to work together to get the diamond ring back. So I'm guessing that the unscrupulous chap is Timothy Spall. I think he could go well at that, and his love of his life, who's going to get the lovely diamond ring, is Celia Imrie. It's nice little 12. It's got some strong language and moderate sex references. but it's described as feel-good film, so that's sort of nice. And it's got cast interviews with all the major cast members, and it has an audio commentary with the director. So not entirely bereft of features for a little known under the radar movie, and like I said, Slip. In pretty good condition considering I found it on the shelf of a second hand place. Oh, it wasn't sealed, it was just that somebody had put some sticky tape over the hole, which made it look like it. But yeah, I'm really quite looking forward to that actually. It's like something nice, easy, romantic watch when I'm not watching something like Doom or Cynthia Rothrock kicking away through 101 bad guys. This is one I noticed recently on Kermit's channel, and that is A Reason to Live, A Reason to Die. This is a Western set in the American Civil War, where with James Coburn, Telly Savalas and Bud Spencer from the what are they called? I'll put it up there because I can't remember. Trinity movies, that's right. One of the Trinity brothers. And in this one, James Coburn is a Confederate colonel who surrenders his fort to the opposing forces without a shot being fired, and before he gets court-martialed and to get rid of his disgrace, he has to retake the fort from Telly Savalas, and he does so in fact the traditional Telly Savalas way of hiring a dirty dozen or more criminals and offering them a pardon if they'll help him successfully retake the fort from Telly Savalas, who's a tyrannical major on the opposite side. So yeah, that's only got a stills gallery and the theatrical trailer, and it's only got mono English, but it says it's as I checked with Kermit, it says on the back it's 119 minutes. That would be the length. Oh, it's very confusing. There is an extended version of this that's 113 minutes, but that could be 113 with PAL speed up. So this could have been 119 if it was a Blu-ray, and they'd finally done it right, and it was the extended version. But the only other version out there that's on Blu-ray was the regular version, not the extended. So I suspected that this would be as well, and without me having to open it, Kermit very kindly put it in his machine and checked the runtime, and it is the same. It is the theatrical version only, so it's about, I can't remember what he said now, I think it's 98 or 99 minutes long. If you go to his one of his recent pickup videos, the one with this in, so it'll probably be a couple of weeks ago, then you will see that in the comments where I've made a comment on it, he's replied with the length of time that it actually is down to the second. So if that's going to help you. Lovely. And on to something else from this one from the telly. And that TV series is The Boys. Excellent series. This one's still rated at 18 for the standard strong bloody violence, gore, sex, nudity, and very strong language. I'm sure everyone will know that it's all about people with superpowers regarded as superheroes by the general populace, but all run by and marketed by big business, and they themselves are totally out of control if they want to be. So because there's not a lot of things that people can do about them. So this one, like I said, is season 3. I believe season 4 has been shot. I don't think it's not been transmitted yet. Probably undergoing. It's one of those series that has a long post-production process and could well be held up by the strike. I think they've already postponed it in preparation because they think it will be. So that's not going to be until 2024 when they thought it might hopefully was going to be out by the end of 2023 transmitted. Highly regarded series, and like I said, it's obviously very highly regarded. So because they've already approved and greenlit season 5, and I don't think they don't seem to show any signs of stopping yet. So looking forward to catching up with this one. I've got the other 2 seasons, obviously. Don't usually jump ahead unless I suddenly see, for example, if this one I'd seen it in a bargain price of £3 or £4 or something, I'd have picked it up even if I didn't have the others, and then go back and pick them up when the prices dropped. But no, that was just a sensible price in this case. This isn't TV, but unusually it's a crowd-funded movie, sort of TV movie that was crowd-funded, except it wasn't being on the TV, so it's not really a TV movie. It's part of the Mythica series. They're quite hard to get hold of because they've only been released in a few countries. In the States, you can get all of them. Obviously, if you were someone who was part of that crowdfunding exercise. But if you weren't, then you could only get either I think the first couple, and or you can get them on DVD much more widely. I've got the whole lot, or had the whole lot on DVD. This is the final one. This is film number 5. When I say final one, I believe they're trying to get a 6th one off the ground at the moment, but this is number 5, which is the Dragon Slayer, which is called the God Slayer in all other areas for some reason, because there's no dragons get slayed as far as I'm aware. This one is, as you can see, an Australian release. That's because, as I was saying, there are very limited areas in which these were released. Australia, I believe, got all 5. Germany got the first 3, which is where I got the set of my first 3, and I just had to pick up 4 and 5 relatively recently. If I'd done this for the previous couple of weeks rather than just the 1 week, then you'd have seen the one before this, the Iron Crown, and yeah, so really looking forward to watching these all the way through. Well worth a watch, even though they're crowd funded. They are they know where to use their budget, and they're well worth giving a go if you like your swords and sorcery fantasy type stuff. Defeating the Lich King. That one. And moving on to some more. Sorry, just losing a bit of breath there. Moving on to some more in the supernatural oeuvre. We have the Italian steelbook of Underworld. This is the first one. Gun-toting Celine. It's, even I can translate some of this. It's got the commentary It's got the gag reel, it's got a documentary, 7 featurettes, storyboard comparisons, music videos, and it says and more. Not quite sure how much more they can fit on. Now I'm trying to remember how long this is now. This is quite important, I think. You just comes near the end. 2 hours 13, so that could be the reason. It could be the is that an extended version? 2 hours 13. I'll put it up here on the definition. I think this is the extended version, and I have the extended version in a German set that I've got, but that extended version takes off the special features, but puts when it puts on the extended version instead. So this is being the Italian one, and Steelbook adds back in the special features, and if I recall correctly, it's also got it's also got English LPCM 5.1 track, so lossless without encoding, so it's easiest, you don't even have to decode it to get a lossless soundtrack in English on here. So fantastic. Looking forward to doing a proper rewatch of that one, this time probably going all the way through from the start to all the Underworld movies. Now I have them all in the correct formats, and yeah, that's sorry I just repeated out there, but really looking forward to watching the leather-clad vampire, gun-toting, and meeting up the Lycans all over again. Another sort of Romeo and Juliet-esque thing. Right, here's another. This is one that I'm supposed to be able to do a t-shirt snap for, and I'm really annoyed that I can't find my t-shirt for it, because I should be able to. In fact, I shall try and insert a picture of me wearing that t-shirt just here, and if I can, I will, and if I can't, then this bit will just be me cutting stuff out. Anyway, the set in question is Lost Girl. This is the Australian complete series. It's seasons 1 to 5. It says 1 to 6, but that's not really accurate, depending on which source you use. In actual fact, there's only really 5 seasons, but they split season 5 into parts 1 and 2 for various reasons, and therefore when they were released as seasons 5 and 6 in some areas, but all just as season 5 in others. But essentially season 5 was 2 lots of 12. So another one that's really quite difficult to get on Blu-ray. This is an upgrade for me from the from my DVD set, which I have the complete lot. I watched the first season and decided I really loved it, so I got the rest on DVD. At the time, I didn't know or didn't, or there weren't any Blu-rays available, or didn't have a Blu-ray player. I don't know, I can't remember. And now I'm trying to upgrade them because I want to watch them in Blu-ray. The story, quick overview, is about this girl Bo, who finds out the hard way that she's a energy draining sex demon succubus, as you do, when she accidentally kills, I think it's kills, her first sexual partner by draining his life force until he dies. Goes on the run, meets up with like a street thief that she gets on with, human, and they together discover the underworld of fairies and fae creatures, and these are their stories within that world. I enjoyed it, like I said, very, very much indeed. But don't think you're going to get the Blu-rays for cheap. I think you can get seasons 1, 2, and I think you can get all the seasons on Blu-ray separately in the US. But I don't know if they're out of print, but they're certainly going for around 40. Some of them are going for around $40 plus per season. So that's going to add up, especially if they're going to charge you import on top of that, if you have to get them from somewhere like Amazon than you. This one was a big hit all in one go, but at least it was all in one go. But it's still coming from, this is not the Australian set. I think I picked it up off, I think I got this one off, yes. I had a look on eBay, but in actual fact it turned out to be a smidge cheaper in the end to get them from Amazon UK, even though they're an Australian set. This is the only way to get them in a relatively small form factor. Still got all the features on: interviews, making ofs, panels at the Comic-Cons, various other Comic-Cons, cast roundtables, inside look at, behind the scenes, image galleries, blooper reels, and it says digital minis. Not sure what digital mini is, but I'm sure I'll find out. It totals something like 56.5 hours plus extras, and was transmitted between 2010 and 2015. It says it's region B locked, but I'm not sure whether that's true. I don't think I have any proof to the contrary, so I'm not going to argue with it. Most display places show this relatively small for the usual Australian size of rating sticker, MA15 rating sticker on it, but I have discovered that this is, on this particular release, a sticker, so it's actually only stuck to the shrink wrap. So once that shrink wrap comes off, no horrible, huge, I mean, I think they're not the biggest in the world, even bigger than the German ones, age markings. But yes, so that'll all be gone. That'd be fantastic if they're on the shelf. Continuing with this theme of the supernatural, this is the second film in the Wormwood series. This is actually an Australian film. That's not an Australian TV series. I think it's Canadian actually. This is an Australian film. This is Wormwood 2. This is Wormwood effects, and it's a gory road movie type thing. Zombies, lots and lots of fighting their way through to find a cure for the zombie plague. We all know the practice, but I've got the first one, and this is a 101 films. It's I can't remember if it's got any extras, but it's only 78 minutes long, so it's not meant to outlast its welcome, certainly. Probably underlast. It's got strong bloody violence, gore, language, and drug misuse. So all the good things. I think it might have a reversible cover, judging by the fact that I've seen 2 different covers online, and they're both advertising the same set, but I haven't opened it yet to find out. And I'm running out of time on the video, so. And finishing off with another zombie apocalypse. This time, Z Nation complete. This is seasons 1 to 5. Each of them have 13 episodes in. The only reason I believe I've heard that it got cancelled was not because it wasn't popular, but because they kept on pushing the limit to keep on progressing the storyline and keeping up with what they wanted to do with the storyline. They would have had to have dug too deeply into their pockets for the required new special effects, and it probably wouldn't have been worth their while to put it out on the smaller channels that they were doing. It's got the earlier seasons come with more extras, as is usual. Race for making of, preparations for the virus, behind the gore, zombie kill reel, gag reel. Behind the effects are on season 2. Trailers on 3. It's not much on 4 and 5. I think that's about it. But when you consider that this is, as you can see, Dazzler Media doing a good job again. And this is 47 hours worth of zombie fun over 5 seasons. Like I said, 13 episodes per season. And I think that for £22 for all 5 seasons, that's pretty much a bargain. I think it's not theoretically that expensive. Even I don't know how they decided to bring the price down, but I think even Pete will approve of their pricing strategy. So yeah. Okay, thanks very much, and that is the end. Well, finishing off with a Z. So that's me for that week. That was. Please, if you liked the video, I'm going to keep on trying to keep up with these videos, weekly or bi-weekly ones, as well as keeping on and then catching up with the steelbooks, throwing in the occasional other different one as well, that sort of thing, depending on how much time I've got. But if you liked it, please hit the like button, and if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do. It all really helps me very much, and I do appreciate any comments you make down below the video, and I will reply to them as soon as I can. As you see from previous videos of mine, I'm usually pretty good at replying to comments quite quickly, usually because I don't get that many. So I find this a great shame. I love to converse more with people who watch my videos, and also if you want to follow me on the Blue Justin Facebook site, that's linked down below as well. And if you want to contact me if any competitions in future, my Instagram link is also down below. Anyway, please keep on enjoying your own TV, films, physical media, whatever. Try to get to the cinema if you can. And basically, I'll see you again soon. Keep on enjoying life. Cheers. I needed that.